Hello and welcome to Human Anatomy Prep. I'm Ty Gardner and I'll be your instructor. Articulation is the fancy word for joint. We'll be talking about how bones connect to each other. Let's take a look at our mind map. We can see there are three types of articulations based on the materials that form them: fibrous joints, cartilaginous joints, and synovial joints. We will also discuss a few examples of movements to understand how muscles and joints work together. The three types of fibrous joints are connected by dense regular connective tissue, the stuff we find in tendons. Sutures connect flat bones of the skull. The coronal suture is named for the plane it occurs in. Gomphoses, singular gomphosis, hold teeth in their socket. Note: words ending in is use es when plural. Syndesmoses, singular syndesmosis, connect bones with an interosseous membrane. Syn means acting together. Desmo means bond. The bones work together through this bond. Syndesmoses occur between the radius and ulna, as well as the tibia and fibula. A syndesmosis makes the radius and ulna behave as a single unit, while still allowing pronation and supination. The two types of cartilaginous joints are connected by cartilage, allowing little movement. Synchondroses, meaning connected by cartilage, join bones with hyaline cartilage, or join cartilage to bone. Examples include epiphyseal plates and costochondral joints, where ribs join costal cartilages. Symphyses, meaning grow together, join bones with fibrocartilage. Examples include intervertebral discs and the pubic symphysis. There are 6 types of synovial joints. They differ in shape and degree of movement, but share basic traits. Synovial joints don't connect bones like fibrous and cartilaginous joints. Synovial joints have a joint cavity. The joint cavity is filled with a lubricating synovial fluid. And the articular surfaces of the bones are covered in smooth, hyaline cartilage. Let's take a look at examples of each synovial joint type. Plane or gliding joints tend to be the least mobile synovial joint. They consist of 2 flat surfaces. The flat surfaces can slide against each other. Intertarsal, intercarpal, and intervertebral joints are examples. Pivot joints allow rotation. They consist of a mobile bone that spins against a surface of a stable bone. The atlantoaxial joint, where the dens of the axis rotates in the atlas, is a pivot joint. Hinge joints allow flexion and extension. A mobile bone moves in a single plane on a surface of a stable bone. We have lots of hinge joints. The humero-ulnar joint is the example shown and is quite stable. Other examples include the tibiofemoral, knee, and interphalangeal, finger joints. Condyloid joints are more mobile than hinge joints, allowing hinge-like movement in 2 planes. Our radiocarpal joint, wrist, and metacarpophalangeal, knuckle, joints numbers 2 through 5, are condyloid joints. Number 1 is a hinge. Saddle joints are even more mobile than condyloid joints and allow the opposition of our thumb to grab stuff. It's the first carpometacarpal joint, between the trapezium and the first metacarpal, that allows opposition. Ball and socket joints are the most mobile, consisting of a ball and socket, just like the name says. We only have 2, the coxal or hip joint and the glenohumeral or shoulder joint. Okay, let's talk movements. We need to know these so we can say what muscles do. We call that an action. Movements usually come in pairs, like flexion and extension, but rotation at the head is an exception. Flexion and extension are very common movements because they occur at many joint types. Flexion of the knee or elbow bends it, while extension at the knee or elbow straightens it out. Flexion of the shoulder or hip moves the arm forward, while extension at the shoulder or hip moves it back. Flexion of the head and spine cause us to bend forward, while extension cause us to straighten or bend back. Abduction, usually at the hip or shoulder, means to take away, like being abducted by aliens. Adduction means to add to the body, like addition. They only differ by one letter, so you have to be careful. This leads people to pronounce them as abduction and adduction, just to be clear. Plantar flexion and dorsiflexion are specific to the foot. Plantar flexion is the elevation of the heel, causing the toes to tilt down. We do this to stand on our toes. Dorsiflexion is the elevation of the toes, lifting them off the ground along with the metatarsal bones. I hope this has been helpful. Your next stop is the video on muscles.